A doom 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 doom. What up, you guys? Are we live yet? Let me check. I might just be talking to myself so far. Um, yes, we are live. Hello. Hi. How's it going? I know I've been off the map for a while. Been lying low. I've been tending the fam, tending the garden, um, playing lots of Call of Duty, running the Etsy shop. I'm not sure why I haven't been pressed to make YouTube videos lately, but here I am, back in action under the orange tree. How you guys doing? Good morning. Nice to see you. Yesenia, hello, Yesenia. How's it going? Nice to see you. I wanted to talk about how to become an initiate. I should have, I guess, put spiritual initiate, but fuck that. I'm not going to call it spiritual initiate. We'll just call it an initiate because we don't want to pigeonhole the idea too much. I'm starting to get over and fed up with the word spiritual in and of itself because it's just been, as most things, when they sort of catch a global threshold, there seems to be a sort of pervasion of ideals and too many cooks spoiling the pot, in other words. So we'll just call it an initiate, and we'll get to why I'm calling it an initiate after a while. First things first, though, I'd like to thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you spending your time and energy and attention at the channel. Um, on top of that, the Patreons I want to give a proper shout out to before I start because without people like the Patreons, this channel wouldn't be possible. So I'm going to do a quick screen share. Bear with me, you guys. I got to give credit where credit is due. Um, P did 427. Thank you. She's the newest, I believe. Nico with the $50 Patreon. Thank you so much. Oh, actually, should I not show the actual names? Sorry about that. um, Thank you, Sharon, People First, Fairy Dust, John Smith, Hugh. I'm assuming if you guys put your real names on here, you don't mind sharing your real names. Sorry if otherwise. I know Sharon goes by Pandora on the channel, so thank you kindly. John Smith, of course, thank you for everything, even more than the Patreon. Hugh Noonian, thank you kindly. Buddy Lance, my homie, thank you guys so much. Um, Thank you a ton. Thank you a ton, a ton, a ton. Thank you guys so much. Stop screen share. I appreciate it because the people who join the Patreon, of course, are getting the discount on the Etsy shop, and the people who get a discount on the Etsy shop are still helping the channel further. So thank you guys. That was my shameless, not even a shameless promo, just a not shameless period, just a proper, genuine thank you to the people who are supporting the channel. I cannot stress how much that means to me, and the growth of the empire that we're doing over here. Thank you guys kindly. Hell yes. Kalis, hello, nice to see you. Man, it's actually cold. Cold. It's like 60 degrees. I'm spoiled with the weather right now. Sorry, but Gianni Lauren, um, thank you for being here. Smith, nice to see you. That's John Smith. Everyone, give a proper thank you to Smith. Kalis, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Maria, Paul. Um, yeah. So thank you, you guys. Everyone, smash that like button. We're gonna start. Thank you for bearing with me during this introduction of the video. How to become an initiate. I guess I'll start with what is and what isn't an initiate. What is an initiate is someone who devotes themselves to truth with a capital T, sort of the underlying substantial reality from which all things come from. What what is not what isn't an initiate? Well, what isn't an initiate is someone who dresses up in robes and wears deer antlers on their heads, wears a mask, and performs rituals, whether or not they include maiming, destroying, or even praising and showing love on certain deities with certain rituals and whatnot. Um, you guys got to remember that I gotta catch a couple rays of sunshine because between the breeze and the shade, I'm like starting to shiver a little bit. I'm definitely not trying to shiver. There we go. That's better. Um, I do love the mid-range temperatures myself. I do love them myself. Um, but when I'm properly prepared for, I'm just being a baby. No, the weather's amazing. I don't mean to complain. It is. I do love the mid-range temperatures. I don't like it too hot. I don't like it too cold. Hopefully, I'm not. Is that too? No, it's too much light. All right, you guys gotta remember that when it comes to rituals, um, it's not when it comes to initiating and being an initiate. It's not so much what you're doing; it's how your mind is affected by what you're doing. Of course, now it's just way too much sunlight. Because when you see people, so you have your altar, you have your favorite plants on there, um, you have your mantras, you have your chants, you have your deities, you have your money, everything that you include in your ritual is is lending is reinforcing, um, I guess we could call it the subconscious mind. Because remember we talked about before that the generation of things comes from the subconscious mind. The conscious mind directs the flow of energy. What's up, Kingston? Good morning. How you doing? The conscious mind directs the flow of energy, but the subconscious mind is the flow of energy. And the ritual that one would use that we typically see initiates with their robes and their rituals, all those trinkets, all those things are a direction of a direction of consciousness, a direction of energy. Um, but that flow of energy can come from anything. That's the flow of energy is limitless. What the initiate accesses is limitless. The lens that we decide to focus that energy through is also limitless. It can be a candle, it could be a sage bundle, it could be a prayer, it could be the robes, it could be your fancy robes with your pentagram on the floor, rung out with candles, and your favorite archangels painted, hand painted on Italian leather, etc., etc. Or your favorite piece of lace, Kalis. Anything. It could be anything. So, um, how to become an initiate is more about finding, I guess, finding your lens. Becoming an initiate is more about finding your lens than following someone else's design. The chickens are following you? Yeah, you're their papa now. The chickens are getting huge. You guys, I should say the chicken and the rooster because Lucille turned out to be a rooster. And yeah. Anywho, where was I? Ah, yes. So becoming an initiate is about devotion because when you devote yourself to something, you create a physical and a non-physical channel towards whatever it is that you want to manifest, um, or whatever it is that you want to study. And initiates are all about that study, all about the knowledge, all about gaining wisdom, both in both the intellectual wisdom and the active part of putting that into use, into practical use. Let me see where we're at. 100 degrees Fahrenheit over there. Oh my God. What's cracking, Alchemy? Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Hold on, give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Gotta change spots. Your backyard's getting crowded. We'll go sit next to the we'll go sit next to the corn stalks. But yes, Kalis, I saw your thing. You said I'm gonna make my own lace and use some knot energy. that's sort of the idea. That's where we're going. I guess towards the future of it all is more about um, designing our own way. When I wrote my book Seven Pillars, the whole idea behind it was not to bring people to enlightenment, was not to be anyone's guru, was not to say I have all the answers to shit. It was more about I found a system. I found a sort of philosophy that talked about the structure of existence, that talked about the mechanics of existence, that can be found in every text that I've ever come across. And understanding that was, instead of opening a door for people, it was giving people a utility belt so that they can build their own doors going to their own destinations of their own choice. And so exactly what Kayla said, she said it laughingly, like, I'm gonna make my own lace and use some knot energy. Like, yeah, it's like, oh haha, I'm gonna do my own you based off of knitting. And it's like, that's, yes, exactly. It's exactly what it is. Like you imagine, say you're knitting something, and we know how focus can program, like we program water with consciousness. Things are programmable based on frequencies. If you have extreme focus on something that you're knitting and it takes you 6 hours to knit it, that's 6 hours of concentration into that item. You're practically plugging that item with your own frequency, your own consciousness, your own sort of juju. And that's creativity. That's imagination. You can do it. You can do it with the garden. You know what I mean? You can do it with the. That's the whole idea behind healthy food, organic food. Is I was speaking with a shaman once, and I told him that I had a few bad experiences with um, cubensis. And what he told me was, where are you getting the pizza toppings from? And I said, just wherever I can find them. And he said that's not necessarily what the problem is, but it could be the problem. You have to find someone that grows plants in a loving nature, because the energy you put into a plant is the energy you get out of it. Nutritional content, and even when it comes to psychedelics, different programmings of that. Um, so everything that we do will be laced with the energy that we put into them. It will carry it as a sort of totem. You know what I mean? Um, so well said, Kalis. Well said. Purple Frilly, nice to see you. How's it going? Thanks for joining. Um, I know you weren't joking. I know you weren't joking. I just said that. Um, but yeah, you'll have to crochet me up some stuff, Kalis. I would love some home. I had someone make me a super nice beanie, and I lost it when I moved, so I never even got a chance to use it come the cold season, and I feel super bad because it was a gift from a friend. I'm super sad that happened. But yeah, guys, as far as becoming an initiate, you just have to dedicate yourself to a craft. Um, I'm assuming that if you want to be an initiate, it's because you're on the quest for truth, or you want to manifest something, or you want to learn something. Um, and Hollywood is Hollywood is perpetuated initiates as one certain lens over and over and over and over again, as appearing to be one thing. Um, like being followed by crows, that's got to be some sort of magical thing, right? We got a crow. We don't get many crows around here. Interesting. So does that mean I should start growing my own oregano? Lately, I've been getting bad reactions from it: panic attacks, anxiety, feeling like I have serious bad burps. Um, Agent Smith, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I've grown my own oregano before, and it's 1% of the oregano I've ever burned personally has been homegrown, and it's been substantially different growing from, or get yours from a trusted source. You know what I mean? Make sure that people are growing organically and doing all the things that they need to do. You know what I mean? A sign, usually, yeah, death. I think. Um, where are we at? it's more than just who and how it was grown. Yeah, that's true too. I mean, the ingredients that you use, some people go as far as using all vegan products to grow plants. It's called veganics. So no animal-based products, no cow dung, no horse manure, no bat guano, no, especially no blood meal and bone meal, because that just comes straight from farm factories, and they literally crush up the bones of the farm factory animals and collect the blood of the farm factory animals and dehydrate it and sell it as a powder, blood meal and bone meal. It's pretty savage. So there's and people grow their plants with it. So you can imagine the energy from a cow that has its that's killed, it's hung, that's strung upside down alive and killed, bled out, and all the hormones, all the adrenaline that gets pumped into the cow as a result of that pure terror in the form of blood. They dry the blood, dehydrate it, and sell it as fertilizer because what the industry was, they have all these leftover parts that they can't use, all the bones, all the blood they can't use, and so they needed to monetize it. So they started selling it to the agricultural places. So try to avoid blood meal and bone meal. I personally don't care if I'm using horse manure or bat guano or bird guano in general, or like it's cow shit. Like there's no harm in fucking the cow's walking along a pasture, poops on the floor, and you use that. I have no quarrel with that. Some people, but that's called veganic. Some people are super extreme about that. Don't want to use any animal products. So I feel you, but teach their own. Um, but yeah, uniqueness is an actual thing. Imagine viewing the world through a single lens. Boring. True. I think learning systems is good. Just have to put your own spin on it. That's the juice of life. Absolutely. That's why if we're on how to become an initiate, I would recommend highly the Kabbalion as your, at least as your bread and butter of esoteric knowledge. By all means, read every source you come across. It's just I was probably searching for things for a good 7, 8 years. Like from the time I was about 20, seriously, I got into it seriously when I was about 23, 24, and then at about 28, 20, no, 26, 26, 27, I came across the Kabbalion, and I finished the book 2 years after that, roughly. So over the course of 8 years or so, I've been balls deep in it. And it was the first time I'd come across a source that included every other source that I come across. I mean, it falls in line with the Bible if you're into Bible studies. It falls in line with ancient Sumerian texts, if you follow that. It falls in line with Buddhism. It falls in line with Hinduism, paganism, shamanism. Um, it falls in line with quantum physics. It falls in line with science, with nature, just looking around and seeing how, with humanity and the social sort of aspects that humans relate to one another, like everything. So, how to become an initiate 101. Um, Understand that ritual does not have to be as it is in Hollywood. Ritual can be your garden, can be your crocheting, could be the music you play, the children you raise, the lovers that you have. Everything is an initiation into truth because everything comes from truth. Um, the more you involve yourself in a process, the more emotionally, spiritually, physically you can involve yourself in a process, the more power you give it. And the stronger a channel you provide for the limitless flow of consciousness to come through. Good texts are texts. Good texts are the Kabbalion, for sure. It's free online. I have a free audiobook on my YouTube channel. If you don't have time to read, you can listen to it. If you want further reading, you can get my book called Seven Pillars, which is the Kabbalion, but I modernized it. I took modern concepts to sort of provide the validity to the philosophy of the Hermetic. It's the Hermetic philosophy, is what I'm talking. Is what the Kabbalion is. The 7 principles of the Hermetic philosophy. Um, I don't know how I feel about being too involved with the darkness. So, say current events right now, you have um, You know, you can go into the world of vaccinations, or you can go into the world of the New World Order, or Bill Gates, or you can go into Satanism and adrenochrome. Like, you can do, like, all these things are part of it. You know what I mean? But I'm not sure that's I'm not convinced, I should say, that that is absolutely necessary to the advancement of spirituality, if that makes sense, or the advancement of being an initiate. It could be argued that the more time spent in the darkness and the less time spent in the light could be a detriment to your spiritual growth, which is why I say time and time again that one must acknowledge the darkness, be aware of the darkness so that you have a blueprint of where not to go, but the majority of your time should be in creating. It should be broadcasting the light. It should be on the quest for truth, both in intellect and in practice. There's a difference between knowing something and putting that knowing into use. In other words, um, and that's what the initiate does. And being an initiate should be fun. It should be light. It should be a thing that makes you happy when you wake up in the morning. A thing that makes you excited. A thing that pushes you forward. Um, yeah, I don't know. A lot of people, or a lot of the spiritual world, seems to be overly occult, and the word occult is hidden. Occult means to hide, sort of hide the truth, hide knowing. Um, and things that are hidden tend to be in darkness, because that's the best place to hide something is in darkness, which is unfortunate, because there's a lot of things in the darkness that we don't want to be involved with. So I would like to see the esoteric world, the initiate world, be more in terms of light, like the pictures of the old civilizations of Lemuria and Atlantis, where everyone's out in the open. Everything is sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Transparent, translucent, where there's plenty of light, and there's libraries on every corner, and and learning and love is a main priority of things, and everything is in the light, everything is in the open, where it seems to be flipped nowadays, where the knowledge is in darkness. um, Not saying that darkness is bad, just saying that I don't know. It's hard to put that part into words. Hopefully, you guys get what I'm saying, though. Spend as much time on one side as the other. Balance. Be aware of it. Don't consume. That's hard. And yeah, I guess there's different philosophies. You know, like Kalis just said, darkness is just an absence of light. No such thing as negativity in the universe. Like, that's true. But the reason why I like the Hermetic philosophy so much is that it it doesn't even comment on good and bad. It doesn't even say that there are such things as good in the universe. It simply says this is how things work. Now go have fun. It's like being a computer programmer and saying this is how you program a computer. You can make hell, you can make heaven, you can make a 50-50 blend of hell and heaven. You can make a world where hell doesn't exist. It's only heaven, and where you have an absence of heaven, you have hell. Or you can have a world where you have 70% heaven and 30% hell. Or you can have a world where neither heaven nor hell exist, but something different altogether. Like that's the type of shit we should be studying, is how to build worlds. Um, Actually, I don't want to tell you guys what you should or shouldn't be doing, but that's sort of where I'm at. It's how do I construct, how do I learn the rules of the game? Because it doesn't matter how good I want to be or how bad I want to be. If I don't know the rules of the game, I might as well just be a sheep. I might as well look where everyone else is going. Oh, everyone's going that way? Okay, I'm going to follow those people. Everyone's going that way? Okay, I'm going to follow those people. because we're useless. You know what I mean? Like, think of the dark side. Think of Star Wars. So in Star Wars, you have all the bad guys, but even all the bad guys are capable. But Darth Maul doesn't want other bad guys to be as capable as him, because then he loses his position. The dark side's all about competition in our plane. The dark side's all about competition. The light wants everyone to be a 10 out of a 10. The darkness wants only themselves to be a 10 out of 10. They don't give a fuck about the light. They don't give a fuck about the dark. They want they themselves to be king. As soon as someone starts to rise in power, even if it's on their own side, people they will cut them down, and we see that happening in our world all the time. You work in a job place, if or me with sports. If my own teammate who played I was a catcher, so if the other catcher on the team started doing better, I would feel, what's the word I'm looking for? I would feel threatened. So I would want my own teammate who's on my own team to do bad, because if he did good, my position was threatened. See what I'm saying? So when it comes to being capable of things, um, your ability to bring into the world your desires is crucial to playing the game, at least in this realm. You know what I mean? Um, I guess the hope is that what we want to bring into the world is love and light. Like, I hope that that's what everyone decides to do, but again, to each their own. I hope everyone decides to build the new earth that's filled with lush plants and fruit trees blooming year round, and the tastiest, most nutritious veggies, and the finest cloths and the finest silks from around the world. You know what I mean? Like, that would be nice for people to put their mind on that, instead of, hey, let's go to war because I don't like what those guys believe in, or like, hey, let's go to war because I feel threatened, right? I feel threatened, so I'm going to kill those people before they kill me. You know, have this sort of dog eat dog mentality. Um, so, but again, back to the topic of this video: how to become an initiate. To me, being an initiate is about gathering knowledge and knowing how to use the knowledge. It's about your practice, your spiritual practice, and how you develop yourself, mind, body, and soul, so that you may develop the world, so that you may develop the exterior world um, consciously. Because I don't want to say that we're not developing. I don't want to say that we're not manifesting. What I want to say is that we're manifesting how we want to manifest, um, because it's easy to manifest some dark ass shit if we're not paying attention. Have you guys ever seen that movie? I think it's called Sphere. My boy Samuel L. Jackson is in it. Yeah, he is in it. And they find that golden sphere under the ocean, and they go into the sphere. It's one of my favorite movies. I haven't seen that in a long time, but my God, we should do a watch night. We should do a Man of Letters movie night. We should all watch. I know I've been saying this fucking forever, but this one I'm actually excited about. So there's a better chance of this one happening. We should all watch Sphere and watch the importance of becoming a proper initiate. That's what we'll call it. Because in Sphere, they go into this golden orb. Um, I'm gonna give away the movie. So what do they say? I don't know. There's a word for it. I'm gonna give away what happens in the movie. So if you don't want to hear it and you want to watch it, be surprised. Don't listen to what I'm about to say. But they go into the sphere and they don't realize it. But what happens is they're underwater. They start manifesting shit that's destroying their submarine, their underground lair. Like a giant squid comes and fucks up the submarine, but it's because the homie was reading 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And what he was thinking, he was reading something, and because he was reading it, he was thinking it, and because he was thinking it, he was becoming it. So since he